Like we are going to study the anatomy of tarsals of dog. Tarsal bones are actually seven short bones. These are seven short bones and these are arranged in three irregular rows and they combinedly form the hock or tarsus region. So the first row is called proximal row, and this row contains two bones. First bone which is present is called talus bone, and it is present at the medial aspect, while laterally or on the lateral aspect, the bone which is present is called calcaneus bone. So medially talus bone is present, and laterally the proximal row contains calcaneus bone. If we look at the talus bone, then you can see that it has a trochlea on its proximal end, and this trochlea actually articulates with the tibial cochlea. Uh, so this is the trochlea of talus bone. The joint between this trochlea and fibular cochlea is called torsocrural joint, and this joint is responsible for flexion and extension. Similarly, the talus bone also articulates laterally with the calcaneus bone. So here it is articulating with the calcaneus bone laterally, and similarly at the distal end it articulates with the central tarsal bone. As you can see here, distally it is articulating with the central tarsal bone. Now the second bone of proximal row is the calcaneus bone. It is the calcaneus bone, and medially it articulates with the talus bone and distally with the fourth tarsal bone, as you can see here. This is the plantar view of dog. So as you can see here that this is the calcaneus bone and this is the talus bone. There is a tuber of calcaneus bone that projects proximally and quarterly. This tuber is called tuber calcanei. So this is the tuber calcanei. Similarly, on the medial side of calcaneus bone, there is a bony process which is called sustentaculum talli. This is the sustentaculum talli. Now, after this proximal row, there comes the central row, which contains only a single bone, and this bone is called central tarsal bone. As you can see that the central tarsal bone is present between the proximal and distal row, and proximally it is articulating with the head of talus bone. This is the head of talus bone. It is articulating with the head of talus bone, while distally it articulates with the first, second, and third tarsal bones, which are present in the distal row of tarsal bones. So proximally it is articulating with the head of talus, and distally it is articulating with first, second, and third tarsal bone. Now the last row is the distal row, and it contains four bones, and these are first tarsal bone, second tarsal bone, third tarsal bone, and fourth tarsal bone, and their numbering starts from the medial side towards the lateral side. So here we have first, second, third, and fourth tarsal bones. The first tarsal bone is flat in shape, and if we talk about its articulations, then the first tarsal bone articulates proximally with the central tarsal bone, while distally it articulates with the first metatarsal bone, and laterally it articulates with the second tarsal bone. Similarly, the second tarsal bone is wedge shaped, and proximally it articulates with the central tarsal bone, distally with the second metatarsal bone, medially with the first tarsal bone, and laterally with the third tarsal bone, as you can see in the picture. If we talk about the third tarsal bone, then it articulates proximally with the central tarsal bone, distally with the third metatarsal bone, medially with the second tarsal bone, and laterally with the fourth tarsal bone. Now the most important bone of this distal row is the fourth tarsal bone. As I have told you that fourth tarsal bone is present laterally, and it resembles a quadrangle prism, as you can see in the picture. It articulates proximally with the calcaneus bone, while distally it articulates with the third and fourth metatarsal bones. Medially it articulates with the central tarsal bone and then the third tarsal bone. Central and third tarsal bone. If you talk about the length of fourth tarsal bone, then the length of this tarsal bone is about the combined length of central tarsal bone and third tarsal bone. So this was all about tarsals of dog. Thank you.